What's up, folks? So I want to tell you a story today. When I was 15, as most of you know, maybe you don't, I was taken away from my mom. I was placed in the custody of the state, and I was put in jail. I was put into a jail-like system where I had to literally fight for my life every single day. But before I was even there, before I was wrongly placed there by the state of Ohio, by Wayne County Children's Services, I was a depressed kid at home, struggling to go to school. I was struggling to find the motivation to be in class every day. I was struggling to keep the mental state so I could be there around all the kids, because I was scared, I was depressed, I was sad, I was suicidal, I was a lot of things. There was a lot of things that I was claiming, and I just truly was. And a lot of it stemmed from the fact that I couldn't play football. That was my one outlet, that was my one thing, and they took it away from me. I was under the belief that if I did my tutoring, that it would get churned into the school and I could still play sports. That was not the case. I was absolutely lied to. So coming into my freshman year, I was ineligible, and that just set me down a hill. It just kept snowballing. Sophomore year, they basically fed me the same thing, and they knew what they're doing, and they're basically just trying to get me in the doors of school. 2 weeks into the school year, and I'm not technically allowed to play on the team. No. They're like, well, you can still practice and everything, you're just not allowed to play. But next year, and I'm just like, why would I just want to practice when I'm good enough to play, and you don't want to let me play, even though I did everything I was supposed to so I could play? Just JV, just a sophomore, just let me play JV. No, I wasn't allowed. So I said, screw it. I mean, that was right around the time I tried to kill myself, which just so happens to be right around the time when I got taken away from my mom, and they put me in jail, and they put me in a really bad situation. Sophomore year, 0 credits in high school at this point. Crazy. I worked my butt off when I was down there because they had the hardest grading scale possible. That teacher was very tough on us, but he was so good. It wasn't like he was this big dictator just cracking the whip down and wasn't teaching you anything. You hated the man, but you respected the man, and while you were getting through your program and you were done with it, you came out on top and you loved that dude. That was one of the only times in my life I loved math. I can't say that right now. But he taught me so much, Mr. Chin, thank you, but none of that counted for anything. When I came back up here to Worcester, they didn't count anything that I did down there, even though I destroyed my brain. It was just smoking every single day because of all that learning. Didn't count for anything. Starting my junior year, technically off with 0 credits, I was still determined to get through high school in the same amount of time as anybody else, because if there was one thing I wanted to do, is to be normal. Whatever normal is, I wanted it, and nothing was going to stop me from it. So they're like, well, it's really not likely, but you can try. And I'm like, I'm gonna do it. You watch me. So they set it before me, and I had a really hectic schedule because I was living at the Christian Children's Home of Ohio, and at that time, you wake up, you got chores to do, you gotta eat your breakfast, you gotta get on the bus, you go to school. You got school all day. In the midst of school, you also got tutoring sessions. And after school, I was playing football at the time. I got to play football. After football, you gotta go home and do your homework. After homework, you might have a chore or something to do, and then you gotta do dinner. After dinner, you gotta clean up, you might have to finish chores, you might have a few things you gotta do around campus, you might have a counseling appointment, whatever they schedule you on. You gotta be in bed by 8:30. When you go up to your room, you gotta be quiet. You have like a half hour to calm down and get quiet and go to sleep. 8:30, really? It is what it is. Wake up, do it all over again. Where's my time for fun? Where's my time to even get my work done? Because I had to do all my classes, and then some, and then I had to do extra courses that they would send you in the mail. So I was doing all my high school stuff, and then some, and then things that they would send you in the mail. I got through high school in 2 years when they told me it couldn't be done. Now, if I look back on it, I might do things differently, extend that out so I could have another year of eligibility for football and all sorts of things, because I still played football my junior and senior year, I got through high school, graduated with my class, even though they told me that it was dang near impossible. Nothing is impossible with Jesus, and nothing's impossible when you put your 111% effort into it. The end. I'm telling you all this today because we fall into this pit sometimes and we feel absolutely hopeless. Everybody is pointing their finger, everybody's doubting us, everybody's thinking, no, they're never gonna do it. They're never going anywhere with that. I mean, this can happen with you two. This can happen with the gym, your weight loss journey. This can happen with a job. This can happen with a school. This can happen with a dream, an aspiration, even going after a girl or the boy, like whatever it is. There's going to always be all these doubting Thomases, all these people that say this crap, and literally when you even look at it, it looks pretty hopeless. Stop it. You take it day by day, you take it breath by breath, and you get your stuff done. You celebrate those little accomplishments. You celebrate those overcomings that happen every single day, and you make it happen because you'll look back on it and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I did that. And it'll just keep happening in your life. I pray that hope arises within you because it doesn't matter if it's a squat, it doesn't matter if it's school, it doesn't matter what it is. When you sell out to the cause, you can do it. And that's all I want to tell you. It gets me emotional because I've lived it, I've been it, I'm still doing it. You have to wake up every day and tell yourself that I am an overcomer. I can and I will. The end. I hope you have an amazing day. Share this video because somebody out there beyond yourself needs to hear this. Like and subscribe. This is